Victoria 3 has been out for 4 months now, and in that time, I've come to realize that some nations are simply just stronger than others. So, in this video, I'll be ranking the 10 strongest nations in Victoria 3. Really quick though, before we get into the list, I feel obligated to do the YouTube thing and inform you that 92% of my viewers are currently not subscribed, so if you wanted to hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, on to the list. Coming in at the number 10 spot is Sweden, starting with a GDP of just under 5 million and a population of 2.79 million. Sweden starts the game pretty low on the overall scoreboard. However, don't let the low score fool you, as they are able to gain a spot amongst the great powers quite easily. Because of the nation formation system in Victoria 3, Sweden can form Scandinavia extremely quickly and annex Norway, Denmark, and Schleswig, leading to a greatly improved population, GDP, and military. Combine that with their decent starting technology and laws, and you have yourself the number 10 spot. The number 9 spot is going to take us into the Mediterranean Sea to the country of two Sicilies. With a starting GDP of 7.3 million and 7 million population, being the strongest nation at the start of the game that has the ability to form Italy, Two Sicilies is able to unite the peninsula with relative ease, skyrocketing their economy to that of a great power with very little conflict to overcome, overall leaving them with a number 9 spot. The number 8 spot on this list is going to require us to move to the other side of the world to a little known island named Japan. Japan in Victoria 3 starts the game with a GDP of 14.6 million and a population of 31 million. Both metrics being within the top 10 at the start of the game. The only problem they face is their deeply backward technologies and laws, preventing them from being able to take full advantage of their starting situation. The Japanese shogunate is a power that holds tremendous potential that simply must be unlocked by the player to reach their true power, leaving them at the number 8 spot. The number 7 spot on this list is going to the largest country on Earth, Russia. With an enormous starting GDP of 48.3 million and 58.8 million people to go with it, Russia actually starts the game ranked 3rd by in-game prestige. Unfortunately for them though, with that level of prestige comes powerful enemies. Sharing a border with Prussia, Austria, the Ottoman Empire, and Great Qing, Russia has very few easy expansion opportunities. Add on to the fact that Russia starts behind on technology and starts with some terrible laws that prevent you from even taking full advantage of corn laws, you will have a rough time trying to take on your European neighbors. Fortunately for the Russians though, if you are skilled enough to overcome these obstacles, Russia can easily turn itself into a true superpower, leaving them in the 7th spot. With the number 6 spot on this list, the USA starts the game with a GDP of 30 million and a population of 15.7 million. The United States is in almost an entirely mirrored situation to that of Russia though. The US is surrounded by many weaker states than itself. So, while not being nearly as powerful as many of the other nations below it on this list, the United States can easily expand west and then south, easily gaining more and more power as it goes. And given the two oceans that separate them from their competitors, the US will have no problem snowballing itself into one of the strongest nations in Victoria 3, earning it a comfortable place of 6 on our list. Sitting at the number 5 spot sits the United States' current-day rival, China, better known as the Great Qing during the Victorian era. Great Qing starts out with the highest population on the planet with a whopping 365 million people and the highest GDP as well at 148.5 million. So, why are they not number 1? Simply put, their technology and laws hold them back substantially. Great Qing starts the game well behind the other great powers technology-wise, and because of this, it can be easily taken advantage of due to their weak military. Similar to that of Japan though, if a good player is able to modernize quickly, Great Qing will easily become the world superpower and no one will be able to stop them. One more country must be snubbed out of the top 3, and this time it's the Brits. Yes, that is correct. The country whose leader defined the era isn't even ranked number 1. Great Britain starts the game with a GDP of 57.6 million and a population of 26 million. Along with those quite good numbers, they also start with the largest navy in the world, giving them plenty of opportunity to assert their own will on others. They are one of the few countries in the game whose reach spans the entire globe, and with an up-to-date army to go with it, Great Britain has no problem when it comes to expansion, leaving them at a comfortable number 4 spot. At the number 3 spot, we have my personal favorite nation to play as, Prussia. With a GDP of 18.5 million and a population of 13.7 million, Prussia does not have any particularly strong start compared to the rivals in France and Austria. But what they do have is the power of friendship, or more specifically, the North German Federation. Prussia is by far the frontrunner when it comes to German unification, and for those who didn't know, the German states during the Victorian era were historically united under the Prussians, and Victoria 3 pays tribute to this fact with the German unification events that take place. I'll spare you the details, but Prussia by far has the easiest path to uniting Germany, and not only that, but also has the potential to annex all of Austria with the press of a single button. If this is achieved, you will become nearly unstoppable. Nearly being the key word here, as two nations in particular absolutely destroy Prussia when it comes to raw power. France and Austria, the two dominant powers of Victoria 3. So, who is number one? Well, both nations are nearly tied when it comes to population, sitting on 33.8 million and 34.6 million respectively. And with GDPs of 27.4 million and 47.1 million, France actually takes an astounding lead when it comes to economy. However, Austria is able to fire right back with its ability to unite the German nations, including Prussia, under itself in almost no in-game time at all. Their militaries are both also nearly identical, with France edging out the smallest of advantages over Austria in terms of numbers. So, who is the winner of this contest? Well, that comes down to a single research. It isn't an economy research, or anything to do with the military. No, in fact, this contest is decided by a single society research: central banking. And France is the one who starts the game with it. If you are a regular to my channel, you understand what's coming. For those unfortunate souls who haven't yet hit the subscribe button, in Victoria 3 there is a little known thing called an obligation. If a nation holds an obligation over another nation, they may not oppose them in any war. This means that if you manage to hold an obligation over every single other great power in the game, no one would be able to stop you. Did you know that in Victoria 3, the research of central banking allows you to bankroll other nations for a 1% chance per week of gaining an obligation over them? If you have not yet made the connection, because France starts the game with central banking, unlike Austria, they may begin bankrolling all of the great powers in the region for a hefty yet manageable sum of money, and in turn gain 10 years of uninterrupted expansion. Even if Austria did start with central banking, however, it would take them far too long to bankroll Prussia, as the two start off in a bitter rivalry, leaving the Prussians as a thorn in the side of the Austrians and giving France the #1 spot on this list. Thank you everyone for making it to the end of the video. This list was actually made by all of you guys who voted in my community post. So if you want to participate in that the next time it happens, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell notification to be notified anytime I make a community post. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.